All right, we are back for more HGC China playoffs. Tether, the first two games that we've seen were pretty good, pretty cool already, but the best is yet to come. And me personally, I couldn't be more excited to witness the two teams that are about to collide. We've got RPG on the one hand facing the hungry and momentum-based KT.
And right now, KT's momentum is in their favor. They come off two series where they were able to take down their opponents, and as such, they are now looking to move into... they're looking to not only move up in the table, because they are now safe from Crucible. They can relax a little bit, but they are now approaching that upper end of the table. If they beat RPG, they will move into 5th position from the 7th that they started.
And that is, of course, a big victory already, starting at 7 plays, which would put you in straight up Crucible range to basically play that next best of 7, best of 5, whatever they have in China, to determine whether you stay in the league or whether you drop out. It's such a big deal already, so it can only get better for them. And hey, who knows? Maybe KT is going to pull off that miracle that no one else has ever done in China, at least before, and they can make it into onto the biggest stage. We have these comparisons here going through. RPG has won 4 series and KT has won 2 in the entire previous normal season.
Exactly, but when these two teams have played against each other, it has been a 1-1 every single time. Yeah. And as such, it's a little bit rougher to try and work your way through. It's a little bit rougher to try and choose who could be a winner in this series. But for now, here is the team RPG. They have been looking really, really good lately, and I don't think they're going to win.
Wait, what?
Because they have a substitute.
Wait, who? I didn't pay attention. Who's playing for them right now?
DSL is not playing. He's substituted for Chicken.
Oh, that is such a big deal for the most important match in the entire season. Maybe we have DSL, trying to recover from yet another injury. Maybe he's had to pause for illness. We're actually going to contact our Chinese production crew immediately. Their star player, one of the most legendary ranged assassin players, is not with RPG. Well, I wouldn't say they have lost or they would lose the game automatically, but it's certainly a big blow.
Yeah, it's a rough pill to swallow, basically. And as such, here we can see the lineup. Chicken, no stats, because he hasn't played this season. But man, DSL missing is a big deal, like we said before.
Now, here's the background story, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not familiar with RPG and HGC China, Chicken used to be a solid member. He used to be the team captain for RPG for a long time. Ever since Tetra and I can remember, we were used to casting him on RPG. Then came this phase, and they made some tremendous roster swaps. They put DSL in, formerly known as Yan Zhao, super legendary ranged assassin player. They swapped out a couple of other players. One of those players that were swapped out were Chicken. And the reason being, RPG hasn't performed really at all. They were dead last place, last phase. They didn't do well at all. So with the absence of Chicken and some of the older members like Wang, for example, the team looked like a new one. But now Chicken back in the mix because DSL, the team's carry, if you will, not being able to play, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal. Someone who they've been playing with the entire season, now suddenly they have to go back to a player who they haven't played with for about a month at this point, maybe several months. And now then, we're going to be seeing the Genji being banned away. We're starting off at least with standard bans, standard picks. But Chicken's going to have to show up and play some of the performances of his life here. We are going to see that Diablo banned away, though.
Now, we don't want to take anything away from Chicken. He's still a solid player. Not a star caliber player like DSL, but still solid. And what Chicken does provide, unlike DSL, he is a little more flexible. He can play heroes like Tracer, for example. And while Tracer hasn't really been part of the meta in China for quite some time, they could still bust it out. Also, you saw there, his most played / favorite hero is Zeratul. He is still a deadly melee assassin if they need one.
This is true. So now with Decade coming out, that'll be, of course, the MJ hero.
Yep.
For only a 48% win rate in HGC China, but the fact is he is still the best support.
He still is. Like, in terms of, utility, in terms of healing, consistent healing, in terms of the impact of his heroic abilities, I think Decker Kane still reigns supreme. But immediately, China responding. KT with that Tyrande. It had served them so well before. And although Diablo is banned, so Timeless can no longer go on that hero to enable those deadly combos, there are still other heroes like ETC, like Muradin, who can basically set the tone and lay the foundation for a good stun combo as well.
Very much so. So one of the best supports and probably the best solo laner is a pretty good opening for KT. Muradin popping out here. So that'll be C's hero. He is a god on this, and the Phoenix will certainly be part.
Yeah.
It's basically the one hero we trust him to play.
C is one of those guys, one of those tank players that if he's in his comfort zone, which Muradin at this point definitely can be considered, then he's making room. He's creating space. He's making those plays happen. So I'm super happy to see RPG rely on Muradin here, by far his most impactful hero. And we have just received confirmation and news and updates, ladies and gentlemen. DSL's hand/wrist is still not in good shape. So we basically knew that he left SPT due to an injury. He has undergone surgery as well, but it seems like his hand still hasn't fully recovered. So speedy recovery, best wishes to DSL, and unfortunate for him and his teammates, he can't make it. Whether that's just today or tomorrow and Wednesday as well remains to be seen.
That is sucky timing, but we hope he gets well soon and can return to us as soon as possible. For now, Hammer and Garrosh coming in for KT. They're sticking with what they know. It's been winning them game after game so far, but will it keep them going?
Yeah, let's see how much they can utilize Chicken, and let's also see what hero he's going to play. Is he going to fill DSL's shoes, just playing normal ranged assassin, or are they going to shuffle the roles a little bit? Are they going to pick heroes that make more sense on Chicken per se? I think he's actually going to play that Cassia, which seems pretty doable to me. There's no way Pa is not going to play Phoenix. Like, he played so well in that hero.
Which only leaves Free Show. So the question is, does Free Show play ranged? Because Chicken started off as a melee, as an offlaner. So the question is, are they going to stick with Free Show, who has been doing a fantastic job on that solo lane?
True.
Or are they going to do the classic Chicken thing of he decides to swap roles and therefore everyone else must play around him? Looks like Free Show Chicken on the Cassia. All right, so they're sticking with the normal roles. That is good news.
No, Chicken on Phoenix. They swapped it again. Pa is on Cassia.
Fair enough.
That is interesting. So Pa usually the one person who always plays the Phoenix. It's very forgiving. If you happen to be out of position, you always have that teleport. You have the shield as well for additional tankiness in the late game with that second life bar or shield bar. So Chicken playing the Phoenix. If they haven't swapped again, of course, we never know. We never see the final lock-in. But yeah, Pa and Cassia, really interesting. So only the ranged assassins kind of, hopping and switching around. I still believe that RPG is coming in as the slight favorite. Just in terms of, the names and the results during the normal phase. I do want to say, though, that this is at max a 51-49 scenario. I don't think they're the major favorites into this.
This might just be because I'm so jaded by Chicken from previous seasons.
And who can blame you?
I am leaning towards KT. They've got the momentum. Their draft still looks pretty freaking good. I don't know. I hope Chicken shows up and does well for RPG's sake. But right now, KT, they have everything going for them.
It all comes down to how much Chicken practiced with the team, because they probably knew beforehand that DSL would make it. I don't think it hit them with a surprise. So how much was he able to practice? Did he even practice himself in Hero League and, scrims? Were they using him at all? Or is he coming in, from scratch? And he basically has to get warm again with his teammates. Let's see which scenario will be the case. Let's see what RPG can bring to us. If they can stop the train of momentum that is KT, or if they're going to get ran over by it.
As we prepare to head into our first map of our final series of the day, on the left-hand side, looking to shut down the dream of KT, it is RPG with Free Show, MJ, Pa, C, and Chicken.
And facing them is TWT, WT, Kiaru, Lotus, Timeless, and Bat, and together they form The team known as KT, Kudos top, currently on a 2-game winning streak. Can they keep it up and make it a triple? We're going to find out here in a bit. No big surprises here in terms of talents. Cassia is probably worth mentioning that she went for Chart Strikes. So no Thunderstroke, no Pokey Poke, but team fight damage.
It's mobile offense as well on Phoenix, which is a little bit out of the ordinary. So we do see mostly Arsenal synergy these days. On the very odd occasion, the Plasma Cutter. But in this case, we are seeing the mobile offense. It's still fine. It's a very stutter step focused build, which allows you to kite heroes like Garrosh and Thrall pretty effectively. So the logic is pretty sound.
All right, Chicken on that Phoenix,
Full
as we said.
invisible
He doesn't see the hammer
surprise.
yet. Takes a pretty big hit there. So much shielding is gone already. But that's another advantage of having Phoenix, right? Even if you were to take a little bit of damage, you can normally always regenerate that super quickly. They're actually going very aggressive onto this. Chicken has to rely on those potions, but you normally don't want to take that much damage. What if a Tyrande had been nearby? What if a Garrosh had been nearby?
Speaking of Tyrande and Garrosh, C is going to die.
He is
that was not a question,
surrounded.
that was a spoiler.
Yeah, there's only so much one dwarf can do, and especially C. Yeah, that was too much to ask for him. Looks like Tyrande and Garrosh actually become best buddies for life here. Not necessarily in the lore, but in those games for KT, absolutely.
I'm sure they'd get on if they had the chance to talk.
The cup of coffee, you know, maybe some moonberry juice.
Yeah, exactly. They just need the chance to chill out together, and I'm sure they'll find they have many things in common. Hatred of Sylvanas, for one.
True. Hey.
As we see, no, I was about to say the Alliance, but Tyrande likes the Alliance.
Can you imagine if only Garrosh had survived and the story would have continued, then Garrosh becoming an ally of the Alliance to dethrone Sylvanas, the Usurper?
I doubt they would allow that. I don't think they'd be happy with that.
No.
Wait, you ate, spoilers by the way, you ate an old god heart and you want us to trust you. Yes.
You bombed a Theramore like it was a piece of cake, right? Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, man. I know exactly what meme's going to come out in chat, and I will not encourage it. As we see the Sapper getting taken down. But, so far doing okay on this Cassia, dropping little bits of damage here and there.
All right. So far, no major missteps, no major misplays by any of the teams. That one death on Muradin basically had 0 effects on it. It looks like Pa is about to get thrown by Timeless. Doesn't even throw it into the backline. The combo does not land. 3 altars about to spawn as well. Leoric took the PvE talent, Neil Peasants, which makes a lot of sense. We rarely see other choices these days. Gotta keep those lanes clean and soaked.
We see
Bad.
Attempt onto Bad here, trying to pick him off. Cassia, a beautiful fend comes around. Pa picking up the kill.
They're not done yet.
Looking for more. TWT taken out, and that's going to force the backup from Lotus, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 trade. RPG take the ultra lead.
Absolutely well done here by RPG. I mean, those kills weren't hard to get, but it was hard to anticipate where the enemy heroes would rotate to. So oftentimes, you know, mechanically, you have those kills on lockdown and they look pretty easy, but what the really hard part about it is, you know, suspecting and finding out where the enemy primary targets might be. And in that case, it was definitely Thrall and definitely Tyrande that were out of position. You caught them by, you know, intercepting them during the rotation. So well done by RPG. Cool early game move here by them. But as we see here, only half a level lead currently for RPG. They even have to abandon this mercenary camp because the owl kind of told you Tyrande is probably nearby, and where there's a Tyrande, there's usually also a Garrosh.
Yeah, this is the classic style that we used to see back in the day when Tyrande was previously meta, where basically teams would run the tank, usually an ETC or a Diablo or someone like that, and the Tyrande. And basically they would rotate between lanes, have one person every lane, and then they would gank the lane, and it would be a 3 versus 1 or a 3 versus 2 usually, and they'd have enough of a CC lockdown chain that it would usually result in a kill. Kerrigan also used to fill in a very similar role back in the day.
Yeah, Kerrigan, like if you really want to go old school, then you mention Arthur's Kerrigan. That used to be the pickup composition. Super cool, not really in meta anymore, although, you know, maybe with a rework on Kerrigan and maybe some future changes on Arthur's, that could come back one day.
So then, we see The owl flies in, hits Chicken. No, sorry, hits MJ.
Ooh, see?
Muradin, bye.
Ping pong.
Yeah, we're here for your... Oh. Absolutely not. We're going to see, by the looks of it, a 1-for-1 trade onto Altars in the top lane, although Free Show might try to go for a cheeky little deny here.
Yeah.
In the meantime, bot lane is being pushed in 3 versus 1.
I was going to say, even if Free Show were to die here, just by stalling out a couple more seconds or minutes, that bottom lane would already take some heavy damage. Hammer, siege tactics used at the exact right time here, so well played by Lotus. Loses the gem, the debuff, the anti-healing debuff as well, so the healing fountain is now going to tick normally.
Quick toss onto Muradin. Dwarf toss being held very patiently. Good job, C, but here comes Thrall. Wolf is dodged, Chicken teleports, and Pa can be able to pull back.
Yeah, that was, like from start to finish, RPG, they seem very focused in my opinion. Very little mistakes here, aside from that one catch on Muradin early on. But aside from that, they're really looking like a strong 5-man unit. Bad needs to be careful, can't overextend here. Because I think, you know, we talk a lot about KT having a dangerous composition, like a dangerous pick comp. But likewise, if RPG finds someone out of position with that Muradin lockdown, Cassia Phoenix follow-up, that can be deadly for sure as well. The Salvo, Lornado, and March of the Black King again.
A little bit of unstoppable, a little bit of damage, all about keeping that Leoric alive, and, like we said, doing some damage as well. So, Chicken pinging away at the minion waves.
Ooh, that was a close
pull back
one.
Once again.
Tyrande tried to switch around the combo, initiating with a Lunar Flare, and maybe then Garrosh could have followed up with a Warbreaker. But Chicken Man, to his credit, to his in his own defense, I think he's playing it pretty safe right now, and that's exactly what they need. They don't need the big flashy playmaker. They can have Pa with that, they can have their warriors with that. As long as Chicken doesn't die too often, I think he'll actually be doing a great job, especially against that aggressive composition that KT has.
A little bit of damage onto Muradin once again, but see, he's always so patient with these dwarf tosses. Another player might just try to leap out, get CC'd, and die. He waits for all the crowd control to be dropped. Trusts his team to keep him alive. Ball Lightning coming in already, but it's not getting a huge amount of value as the taunt onto Cassian. Now Power is in the backline. He decides to make the most of it and just engages a little bit more damage onto Bad. With Phoenix already down, though, we're gonna see Timeless barely staying alive thanks to TWT being uncontested again and getting off all those auto attacks.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate for Chicken there because MJ was fully occupied, fully distracted by Cassia's maneuver in the bottom. So he had to make a decision. Do I keep Cassia alive or do I keep Phoenix alive? And since the fight was raging on in the bottom near the altar, I think he made the right call to take care of Cassia and maybe hope for Phoenix to get out of harm's way by himself using the teleport. But as it is, that fight was a little wild here, and KT by no means played this cleanly. It was more them just having a nice flank onto Phoenix and Chicken just being a little out of position.
Kiaru re-rotates into the lanes, keeps the XP flowing for KT. As right now, XP-wise, RPG are a tiny bit ahead. Oh, that was ambitious by Kiaru, but he is just moving in here. Lornado will zone out Hammer. Siege Tactics says no thank you. As they dive forward, Undefender's already down, but Time is taking a lot of damage. C is forced back up, and the camp is stolen.
That was a nice steal by KT from start to finish. They had this under control. They even tanked through the entire Ball Lightning in from Cassia. But also an admirable escape here by C in the nick of time, jumping over the wall. And Vision prevented them from finishing off the Dwarf. And now with Muradin still alive, the question is, can they actually save this bell tower? Once that bottom bell tower falls, we know how much of a sticky situation that can be for teams to actually get it back. Also, mercenaries have been taken. So there's not going to be an immediate, core threat available. C scouting it out. They didn't spot him yet. So that might be a gank on Lotus now.
He needs to be careful about his positioning.
He's coming all the way
He
around.
doesn't seem to care. C, like you said, waiting very carefully for his opportunity.
So are they going to try and bounce on Sergeant Hammer, or are they trying to basically set an ambush somewhere else? Looks like they found Tyrande.
Can they keep her locked down? March for damage, but Lornado is trying to disrupt the support, but TWT just tanks through it. Chicken dies again. Timeless evades. MJ is dropped, and RPG are on the run. They cannot fight over this.
What happens if both of your frontliners are chasing down a target in tunnel vision? Well, your backline is probably going to end up getting wrecked, and that's exactly what happened here. First, it was Phoenix to fall, then followed suit the Decker Kane. Cassia made it out alive because of her own innate tankiness, but that was not a good fight to take. It was so close. If they had been able to kill Tyrande right at the get-go, that fight would have been a different one. But as they wasted so many resources, so many cooldowns, that was a lost endeavor from the start. So yeah, boss going over in favor of KT, another juicy 4 points, making it a 19-28 count.
Starting to look a little rough here for RPG. KT starting to put on the pressure. It's still a very small XP lead, or in fact it only is now a very small XP lead, as RPG were ahead for a little bit recently. But now with that extra movement speed for Garrosh coming in from Tyrande, he becomes an even better engage tool, allows them to make more plays. Next Alter phase is going to be a triple phase.
Yep.
Neither of these teams have a global, so it very much comes down to the who commits where situation. And it just makes so much more sense for KT to just 4-man commit to bot lane. Which is why I think RPG for the next Alter phase should very much just 5-man commit top lane, both alters, and just try and do that.
It's actually crazy if you look at it. RPG still not behind by a large margin, although they were actually taking 5 kills already. So they had to suffer 5 kills onto them. Chicken, you cannot make these moves and get away with it. I mean, there's
alive.
Okay,
He's
Phoenix.
alive. Salvo comes out.
Amazing.
Timeless survives.
I don't know how he did it. I think Decker Kane had to work double time. And here comes C now with their flank, followed by Leoric, and it is KT on the run.
Timeless dropped a little low. Kiaru drops an Ardent Defender, and that should give everyone else the chance to escape. Double stun. March of the Black King. Timeless with the anti-heal applied. Still manages to escape. The protection he is getting with that movement speed and healing from Tyrande is absolutely the saving grace here. Chicken eats a bird.
Both teams going all out in that team fight. Keep in mind, though, Kiaru is in the top lane. That is a 5 versus 4 situation. Urel is not here to help her teammates, and the Lornado isolating Garrosh has the unstoppable, though, makes it out alive for now, but the altar goes over. Now, all of a sudden, RPG's in trouble, right? They didn't get the kills, and they now fail to get that second altar in time.
And they're not going to even get their own. We're going to see the interruption from Garrosh, which means Phoenix will not get there in time. And we see Urel taking it. So instead, RPG commit for a kill, and they get one. Finally finding Hammer. Now they're looking for Timeless. Round 2 on that. But the immediate stun removal by Tyrande. Counter kill on Free Show.
And Timeless shows us again why he is not to be underestimated at any given point in time. That's the second time he's punishing someone for chasing him greedily. In the previous set, it was Itzcook who was schooled by him. This time around, it is Free Show giving a free kill over, basically. And yeah, I still like what RPG is doing, despite being actually being in a 4 versus 4 situation now. They're trying to get this Beltar. They're trying to keep Garrosh at bay. It doesn't work, though.
Full Lightning dropped on the way out, gets the blind off, so gets a little bit of healing back, so Par stays alive. Timeless dropped very low, but also stays alive. BFG drops most of Chicken's shield, but he is still fleeing off. Can they wrap around and pick him off? No. And they give up with the chase, don't want to get themselves caught out, now that talents have evened up.
Holy moly, what a constant back and forth that is. The two teams really not giving any quarter, not giving any inch to the opponent one. Now C might be a little isolated. The Ranger's mark goes down on him.
They're dropping the damage. C is tanking through for the moment. Timeless Salvo is coming out this time, and Timeless lives. Urel does not, though. And finally, RPG are getting up the double kill. It's a 2-for-1 right now as Chicken is getting in that mobile offense. Timeless and Lotus escape, but RPG finally win a fight.
What a big fight for RPG to win here. They now need to defend this, though. That one mercenary is going to be enough to take the Baltar. Chicken, you need to defend it. There we go. Distracted. Gotta get closer, otherwise it might still run on the structure. There we go. Chicken cleans it up. They might even be able to take that bottom bell tower first. I think it's a mistake to actually channel the altars already. They have a numbers advantage. Okay, they don't go for it. They don't want to take the risk of losing people here. Still, I'm not sure if I would have done it. It's a hard decision to make, though.
It is like I'm still considering it in my head, and I'm not sure. I think I think I'm okay with them channeling it because you just run the risk of just being eaten by Timeless. So
Right.
I'll take it. I will accept that they do this. Now they can time this. If they're anything, they should just clear this lane even slower and then kill this as late as possible so that it's dead for as long as possible and there's as long as possible for the next objective. Instead, though, they're going to try and use it to dive. Great siege tactics by Lotus, though.
Yeah, good siege tactics. And also, I think it was TWT overreacting a little bit, immediately triggering the Shadow Stalk as well, because they certainly expected RPG to commit a little harder. But sometimes that's really cool to see in Professional Heroes of the Storm. Sometimes you just try to bluff aggression, so you force out longer cooldowns of the enemy team. And that's exactly what they were doing here, RPG. I think they realized, you know what, we can't really fully commit to this, but we're going to make it look like we were.
As they creep forward, Lotus get in that hover siege, start a step.
Yeah,
Maximum damage output to clear the lane so that they can try and make it a play to reclaim this before the next bell tower, which is, sorry, the next altar, which is in bot lane. So they need to move through this anyway or move around via the jungle and have a cut-off retreatment path.
Keep in mind, though, that the VIPs are approaching. The mercenaries need to be escorted all the way through. The Lornado not picture perfect here. Timeless missing his toss, unfortunately, because of a great teleport in time by Phoenix. But this is now not too shabby of a team fight for RPG to take. Freeshow is keeping, you know, the flanks safe. He was trying to spot. Look at Irel in the bottom. She's trying to demolish that bell tower, taking momentum away and taking a shot away as well. And she actually did it in time. 4 shots instead of 5. What a guy, Kiaru. Well played.
That is so freaking clutch. Nicely done. And as such, KT, they keep a single core health lead. They are still both even on experience. KT, they are struggling a lot more in this match than they had in some of the other ones they've played, but they are able to retake their bell tower. They now have a bell tower lead, and RPG, where do you have to run? You have to go through the jungle.
Exactly. They can't take the most obvious route. They have to take a little bit of a detour here because of that cheeky Irel maneuver. And that was a really cool play. Like, the magnitude of this play only comes into play right now. The Mines take down that Zapper. Well done, well done. And that boss is a very risky endeavor. I'm pretty sure RPG knows. No, they might be aware, but they consider the bell tower in the bottom a more important objective. So they let this they let this boss go through uncontested.
So now they're going to try and use this opportunity to race and try and recapture bot lane themselves. In the meantime, Kiaru soaks top lane for KT, trying to get them to level 20. Both teams approaching it. Quick start onto this bell tower for RPG, using the health of Muradin, but with Timeless moving in, that is probably going to be the shutdown of this. They toss in Muradin, who's eating those bell tower shots. Gets the avatar, though. Timeless dropped low, gets the movement speed from TWT. Stays alive. One-man salvo, not going to be enough, and RPG will retreat.
All of a sudden, man, is RPG on the back foot, and they had to panic. They had to use 2, 3 heroics already just to keep Muradin safe and sound. Decker Kane doesn't have a Lornado, we don't have the salvo, and most importantly, we don't have an avatar. And that is going to be so huge. Timeless and his boys can now play way more aggressively. If both altars go through, by the way, it's going to be game over. So how can they keep everyone in check here? Bottom one already focused.
First.
Good interrupt.
Second now. Chicken interrupted the first time. Can they get more as they creep forward, looking for the opportunity? Here comes the Earthquake. C is in danger, but it's Thrall, the first to fall. Ardent Defender keeping good. A beautiful BFG as they turn around and take out Freeshow. 1-for-1. Both teams losing one of their melees as they turn. Chicken is the target. Timeless barely surviving thanks to his Earth Shield as they turn around again. TWT is keeping everyone topped up. Kiaru gets out with the into the fray, and with that, Chicken is gonna get bodied. He goes down, and that is gonna be GG in game number 1.
Timeless tossing members to the side, whether it's opponents or allies, he doesn't care. He's making those plays happen. This game was successfully carried by Garrosh yet again. Timeless on a whole different level today. You can see the happy reactions here coming in from KT. This was such a clutch game. It could have gone either way, but in the end, the momentum is still swinging in KT's favor.
That was great, and as much as you say Timeless was the carry, I would very much like to say that he himself was supported gorgeously by TWT there, coming in with that Tyrande. In that last fight, picked up the Ice Blade arrows, and that was huge, was pinging multiple members throughout the fight, keeping those damage numbers low, and was really able to turn it around, and especially keeping Yarel alive for as long as she did. That was spectacular.
That was really cool. And it takes so much micromanagement and overview and multitasking, right, on Tyrande to spread your auto attacks with those arrows, like you said, with a level 20 talent, to reduce the damage of the opponents. But sometimes when you just focus on doing that, you forget to heal, you forget to drop your stuns, you forget the sentinels and whatnot. So for TWT to keep all these things active at the same time, he's running like a mini computer. He's trying to do so many things at the same time, and he did so successfully. And speaking of this Tyrande Garrosh interaction, I really think that was the hero, the rework that KT have been waiting for. A strong burst support to follow up on Timeless's sometimes crazy calls. And with this new aggressive, refreshing playstyle, they look stronger than ever before.
And that Tyrande level 1 cleanse, basically, that removed so many engages of Muradin. It was just gorgeous. And wow, KT, they've never looked better. I am very happy to see they're performing so well. Game number 1 goes over to them, but RPG, they gave them a run for their money there, actually.
That is correct. I think at this point, if you're RPG and you watched the previous games, you just remember what happened to you in game number 1 here, you're just going to have to ban Tyrande. I don't think you can let it go through, especially not when KT is having first pick again, which seems to be something they really like to do these days. So yeah, man, once again, another strong performance by KT. Can they actually hold it all the way up and come back tomorrow for 2 more playoff games? At this point, I think so.
It's definitely possible. The way they've been performing, KT are just on an absolute tear right now. I mean, if you count this, if you obviously just go through what they've done so far, KT have a 7-2 ratio today. That is a pretty crazy ratio so far, considering they have been playing 3 series in a row now.
Yeah. Oh man.
We now, by the way, have confirmation that even if RPG could make it through to tomorrow, DSL is out with injury. He is not going to be able to return, so they will be playing with Chicken.
So he's basically gone for the rest of the year. Maybe if they make it to BlizzCon, which I don't think they're going to make, I don't know. I don't want to be a downer here. I don't want to be a party pooper, but RPG, they came so close there, but in the crucial moments, they weren't able to keep up to KT's speed and momentum.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure if they can make it, though. They're going to need a miracle. They're going to have to play their absolute A game right now, because KT looks like they're on fire.
I mean, yes, again, well-deserved. Timeless is racking these up today. But yeah, for starters, I would like to say that if RPG do win this, and this has just turned into like a 90s sports movie, like where it's like, our star player has been injured. How will we ever do it? And the player who was kicked off the team in the first for like not playing with the team comes back. I'll help.
First of all, you need a training montage, like an exercise montage with dramatic 80s music.
I went away. I learned how to play with a team. And I'm ready to take us to championships. Yeah!
I've mastered the secret technique of the fire kick.
We play baseball. How's this happened?